I'm gonna be a little hyperbolic, okay? Like, before they start putting a chip in your palm or putting a chip in your brain, they want the old internet. They don't want you to have access to the old internet, which is like a gateway, like, into the past, right?
Reality, captured in user-friendly symbols and processed for understanding.
Have you ever felt like the Internet Archive runs on sticks and stones and is constantly on the verge of a major security breach? It just happened. That was the ominous message that greeted me yesterday when I visited the Wayback Machine, one of the most important websites in the history of the Internet, because it literally archives the history of the Internet. It's been taking snapshots of websites, including their HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images, since 1996, allowing us to remember the World Wide Web in its peak form, when Amazon looked like this, and weird people made weird websites just for fun. Unlike nowadays, where everybody just chases algorithms on cringe factories like TikTok and Instagram. Unfortunately, the fate of this website hangs in the balance, as it's currently getting pwned, boned, and owned from multiple angles. A data breach exposed 31 million email addresses and password hashes, DDoS attack occurring, joking about it coming on a Tuesday instead of a Monday, because the Internet Archive has been facing aggressive DDoS attacks going all the way back to May.
You know the kind of visual here that he keeps showing, like this kind of how'd I put it, not every man, but the stereotypical hacker, right? Or Le 4chan troll, like this caricature right here. And I don't know if he's just taking a download or doing it for fun or being stupid, but it's like, come on, man. Like, who do you think, who's in it? Like, who's got all their chips on the table to take down websites like Internet Archive or Wayback Machine or whatever? Like, I've talked about this before, the attack on the legacy internet. And this is just part of it. Sorry, I'm fixing my headphones here. This is just part of the attack, okay? This isn't these epic 4chan hackers or whatever. This is total, just to put it simply, to make it more easily, like, there's obviously some kind of adversary out there, right? A lot of people say it's a shadow government, you know, government agencies, whatever, FBI, CIA, it don't really matter. I don't care what name you call it. The simplest word, the simplest phrase, at least in the circles that I frequent, it would be not milk, right? Which is Clinton spelled backwards. Matt McKinley's term, and this guy said it himself, there's entities out there that would love for information to be memory hold, and they're trying to make it seem like it's people like us that want information to be memory hold, like you made a post, like a cringe post like 20 years ago that you want to see go away or whatever. And he's a little closer to the truth than most people, but I don't think it has anything to do with that. This is about the erasing of the old world. I've said it before, the how do I put it? The evidence of the old world before the transhumanism completely takes over, right? Before, you know, I'm gonna sound like a crazy person, but I'm gonna be a little hyperbolic, okay? Like, before they start putting a chip in your palm or putting a chip in your brain, they want the old internet. They don't want you to have access to the old internet, which is like a gateway, like, into the past, right? So these people, the Not Milk, the dark entity, I think Billy, Stardust Simulation, referred to it as the dark entity. I can't remember exactly the word he used. Shout out to Billy. Hadn't seen him in a while. I hope he's doing well. I sent him an email about a month ago. I hope he's doing well. He kind of disappeared off of YouTube, but I think he's okay. He's a tough guy. But shoot me an email, Billy, if you're still listening. Yeah, like, don't be a stranger, man. Like, I won't. If you send me an email, don't worry. I won't talk about the email. It'll be between us, all right? But anyway, I just thought of him because of the dark entity kind of thing. You know, he always felt as if there was like a shadowy figure after him at all times, and I don't really blame him. Sometimes. I don't know, he always felt as if some kind of dark entity was after him. And to a certain degree, I don't really blame him. But me personally, he called it a dark reality. Me personally, I don't have, I've never had, like, what's the word? I never had a feeling that perhaps the reality was sinister in any way. But that's okay if he does, because it's his business. So I don't know. I don't think this guy, Fireship, 3 million subscribers, I don't think he's here to be like some kind of weird proxy for the not Nelk or the sinister reality or the dark entity or whatever.
Have a political message about this.
See, it's always like this kind of
and just
imagery,
posted this crazy video.
Where it's the epic 4chan hackers. Like, he doesn't mention 4chan specifically, but I think y'all get my point.
I found it kind of funny because it uses a lot of the same stock photography that I use in my videos. In the video, they say they're not a bunch of teenagers, which means that they're probably just a bunch of teenagers. They have a political message about the situation in the Middle East, which doesn't make a ton of sense because attacking the Internet Archive isn't going to make people like you, which means the only explanation is that it's a false flag. Now, I have no idea what a real hacker is, but I'm sure you're watching this video right now, and I have a message for you.
If you let the Internet Archive go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you, I will not pursue you, but if you so much...
Anyway, just kind of bringing attention to that a little bit. I don't know if Internet Archive's still down, but let's see if it's still down. Wayback Machine. Boop, boop. Nope, it's still up. It's up now. So that was like 6 days ago, so, whatever. Kind of old news, I guess. It is what it is.
Ocelot. I hear they started calling you Shalashaska in Afghanistan. What's that about?
You know the term Sharashka? It's slang for a suspicious, hastily thrown together organization. The word became associated with a type of forced labor facility in the Soviet Gulag system. OKB scientists and engineers who'd been convicted of crimes were sent to a Sharashka for forced R&D. The Sharashkas were supervised by Lavrenti Beria of the NKVD, the secret police, under the official name 4th Special Department.
Forced research? That's not very different from what we do here.
Diamond Dogs is different. Everyone here believes in you. Regardless of where they came from or why they're here, they revere you. And they're fighting because it was their choice.
And if it wasn't, they'd leave?
Who knows? That's our reality here, whether it's real or not. If there's another truth, I don't want to know it. All that matters is that's the concept that's taken shape in their heads. The traces of a group ideology, our superstructure, to put it in Marxist terms.
All right. Go on.
Right. So anyway, at some point the enemy started calling me Sharashka. This was after the war in Afghanistan broke out. While I was keeping an eye on you in that hospital, I was also heading up interrogations here. The men I broke gave up their comrades and families, everything they wanted to protect them most. No real cause for it. I just let myself get caught up in the old Russian pride. And suddenly I received the honor of becoming Special Interrogation Advisor to the forced labor camps. But the more men I interrogated, the more people saw me as just that. The interrogator. It helped cover my real objective of keeping you safe.
You went that far for me?
Far enough to keep you alive. I ended up being pretty well known among the Afghan guerrillas. Some of them would have seen me on the battlefield. And that's how I got the second half of the name. Shashka. It's a sword, a type of saber from the Caucasus. Russian dragoons and Cossacks carried them into battle. Now, the Russian Empire had a general by the name of Fyodor Arturovich Keller. His bravery earned him the nickname Russia's Greatest Shashka. Someone must have known about that, because somewhere along the line, Shashka got stuck on the end of Sharashka. The guerrillas were using the name amongst themselves, and by the time I got to hearing about it, pronunciation had wound up as Shalashashka.
So, half gulag, half hero sword. Is a perfect fit.
But you see how rumors and ideas about people can get out of hand fast. Once you create a character and put it out there in public mind, it warps and twists with every baseless rumor. And before you know it, all people see are phantoms. In my case, it works out just fine. I'm plenty used to working under aliases.
Alright, I wanted to show that for a reason, because I thought it was super interesting when he said that, when you put a character out there, right, and that would be like the clown makeup that we all wear when we go out and about. Like, for instance, when I go to work, I have to put on a certain persona, put on a certain character. Even right now, I have to put on a certain character, right? Where maybe I'm the cat guy, or maybe I'm the conspiracy guy, or I'm the I don't know, whatever. I don't know what the fuck y'all think of me sometimes, but it don't really matter to me. I know what I'm about. And that's kind of my point, where it's like, you can't do anything about that when it comes to your friends and your family. It comes to the people around you. Like, the people I work with, the customers I work with. Here, let me go full screen. There we go. The customers I work with and my coworkers have a certain persona that, like a phantom, like Ocelot said, a phantom that they imprint or they project onto me, and it's really their own, like themselves. Like, people project themselves onto others. So, for instance, and this is fiction, right? But Shalashashka, for instance, Ocelot, they gave him this nickname because he was like the interrogator for the gulags. And he kind of developed that reputation as a sort of cover, not on purpose. It kind of happened organically in the story, but so he had really nothing to do with that. He was just kind of doing what he needed to do to get a mission done, right? Which was to kind of protect the boss while he was in the hospital. But that's besides the point. And it worked to his advantage, and that's what I'm saying is that's what you need to do in your life, is to let people have their projections, let people have their phantoms. Let them come up with these fantastical characters, and you're gonna be shocked when you start learning what they think of you and what they think you're about. And don't get upset by it, because they can't really help. Like, the people can't help but do that. Like, you do it, I do it, everybody does it. Sorry about the reflection of my glass. It's kind of hard to avoid. But you're just gonna have to let people have their phantoms in their head, their shadows and their illusions, because they can't help it. It's just something that people do. And just to give an example, my mother-in-law, for instance, I don't remember how we got into a discussion, but she mentioned kind of offhandedly that she thought I was arrogant and that I looked down on people. And I burst out laughing. Like, I started laughing, not really at her, but because I live this out, guys. I'm telling you, like, what I'm talking about right now, I live it out day to day. Like, this is on my mind all the time. And I'm very aware of how people are and how they're cruel, how they can be cruel and just terrible. Like, there's no goodness in anybody. And I've said it before. I said before in a past video that I'm not saying that as some weird manifesto of how humanity needs to be erased. It's like, no, man, like, I genuinely care about people to the best of my ability, right? And even that's like a phantom, that's like a character I've created in a way, because I can't really do that, because as a person, as a human being, I have no fucking clue how to be a good person. all I can do is try my best, because I learned from my mother, and she wasn't a good person either. And the people around me, the examples around me, the other adults. So I'm trying to keep my cat from getting on my desk. It's Arky. Maybe he'll come. Come here, Arky. I doubt it. Come here, dude. Arky. Oh, well, he's gone. I didn't want him to knock over my drink. But, my mother-in-law, I can't remember. I wish I could remember the conversation, but she made the claim, well, she said she thought I was arrogant, that I looked down on people, and like I said, I started laughing, and I didn't fight her about it. Like, I didn't say like, oh wow, you think that of me? Why would you think that? Like, no, man, just let her fucking think what she wants. And I think my daughter was there too. And later on, you know, I asked my daughter, hey, you remember when, she calls her Yaya, hey, you remember when Yaya said that about me? And I don't remember what she really said, but I gave that as an example because she has issues with her classmates, for instance, and kind of how crazy they act and what they think about her. And I tell her, like, look, like with the example between me and my mother-in-law, it's like people are gonna think whatever batshit insane thing they want to think about you, no matter what. Like, they're gonna create this character in their mind, they're gonna create this shadow phantom in their mind about who they think you are, but it's not going to even be close to what the reality is. And I just want you to keep that in mind. And she understood, like, she was there for that little tidbit, and she noticed that I started laughing, and she probably really doesn't get why I have these reactions. But I have conversations with her all the time. It's like I tell her all the time, look, people are awful, but you have to, like, forgive them. You have to really, I don't know if giving them an inch is the right word. Giving them an inch isn't the right word, but that's the closest I got. To kind of explaining what I mean. It's like, give them a little leeway, right? Kind of understand that. And again, I'm not trying to tell you how to think. I'm not trying to tell my daughter how to think. I'm just a suggestion, right? And I gave the perfect example of what happened to me that day with my mother-in-law, and why I started laughing, and why I didn't take it personally. And it freaks my wife out too. I don't think my wife was there for that, but my wife really doesn't understand why I have these reactions. Like, I just started laughing. It's like my mother-in-law has this crazy projection, this crazy, like, cartoon character in her brain of who she thinks I am. But it's like, it's not even close to reality. It's like, even this persona I have to take on right now when I'm speaking to y'all, it's like, there's no, like, where does a cartoon character end and where does it begin, y'all? Like, think about that next time you're dealing with your family and dealing with the people around you, and just take it to 11, man. Like I said before, like, in a previous video, or previous recording, you're having dinner at the dinner table, and you know your stupid uncle's talking about how orange Trump is. It's like, yeah, just let him go and horse around with him a little bit. It's like, yeah, he's orange. I get it. And I don't know, try to swing it back to reality in some way. I don't know, just like I said with the Mandela effects and synchronicities, if someone has deja vu, you can go, hey, you know, there's this thing called synchronicity. There's a really famous psychoanalyst, psychologist named Carl Jung who kind of coined the term. You can start off a conversation that way, and that way, you know, you have a little merit, because Carl Jung's sort of well known, I think. Probably not to the level of Freud or whoever. To the average normie, right? Like, the average normie isn't gonna know who Carl Jung is. But you can kind of bring up his name, oh, C.G. Jung, and you can sound like a smart person. It's pretty simple. Anyway.
2 steps ahead. I am always 2 steps ahead. This has been the greatest social experiment for my entire life. It's alluring, it's compelling, it's gripping to observe all these unwell, disoriented beings roam the internet in search of stories, ideas, rivalries, where they feel encouraged and engaged, where they involve themselves with the stories and become a product of influence. Thirsty for a distraction from time unspent, spoiling their minds, yet stimulating them at the same time. It's brilliant, and it's dangerous. I feel as if I'm monitoring ants on an ant farm. One follows another, follows another, follows another. It's
Hey, does that make us the divergent ants?
mesmerizing. It's spellbinding. All these little
Forgot he said that.
consumers, all of these lost and bored people. People consuming anything that they're told to consume. So I am the villain because I've made myself one. And you will continue to consume these stories about me year after year after year, for as long as I tell the internet that I am the villain. Stories that permeate and linger and infect the minds of the ants, influence the ants, brainwash the ants. You are the ants. Today I woke up from a very long dream.
Alright, that was cringe, right? He's being cringe on purpose, by the way. Don't take him too seriously. He kind of shocked the internet with this video. Didn't really shock me, because I'm familiar with this dude, and I've always been aware he's a character. And it almost, you know what did shock me though? You know, I'm gonna switch back to, what did shock me about this is that how many people took him seriously. And this is a callback to what I just talked about when that Metal Gear video I just watched. Hold on, I got a text. Cut this out. Alright, right here. So what did shock me about this the most is the reaction. Because I had no idea so many people took him seriously. Just to give a little context, I want to look up, this is for fun, guys. It's like a variety show. Let's look up where he's shopping at Walmart. Okay, Ricardo. So let's look up this. So just to give you an idea who this person is, or was rather, 2 years ago. This is him, by the way, in case y'all don't know.
Rickety old busty. Discrimination. Nobody help me in this.
Alright, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So he plays... I'll turn this down a bit. This legitimately gets me. So he plays like, how do I put it, like a stereotypical American, right? Maybe obese, morbidly obese. He's on a Rascal or whatever the shopping things are. In a Target, kind of acting like an entitled jackass, right? And that's the character he's playing. This is a character, okay, guys? And a lot of people used to watch this, or a lot of it was, like I said, it was shocking to learn that so many people watched this and thought he was being serious.
That's for babies. Where's the family size?
See?
I as family.
Identify as family. The fact that he has no shame on doing this stuff in public is crazy.
A handful, a pitiful handful, a scoop. I identify as family.
Let's watch it for a little bit. I think there was one when he's in Walmart and doing like the same shenanigans.
I have a...
So in case I don't know, it's the same guy. Supposedly this is 2 years later, I don't really know. I hadn't looked into it since then, it's over a month ago. But supposedly he recorded all of his videos in advance.
Which is great for Christmas Eve.
and kind of uploaded them over a span of like 2 years while he was losing weight, and he lost over 200 pounds. So he manufactured this character right here, and apparently managed to piss the internet off, because I've watched his videos where he's with his boyfriend, and he's gay, by the way, in case you don't know. That could be in Act 2 for all I know, but that doesn't really bother me. I don't give a shit about that. But when he was doing videos with his boyfriend, it was very obvious that they were playing characters, because they would play like they would pretend to like be kind of like a bitter married couple where they kind of beat each other up and talk shit to each other and stuff like that. Wearing Crocs. Dude, like, can you not see? He has American flags coming out the back of his rascal, and he's wearing Crocs. Is there any fucking doubt he was playing a character? Apparently so, because people are just that dense. But in the videos where he would be with his boyfriend, you'd catch him in a moment where they weren't acting, because I think one time they're kind of beating each other up, and I think Nick might have actually hurt his boyfriend on accident, and he had this look of shock on his face, like, oh shit, are you okay, like, kind of deal. That's when I realized, but not that's when I realized, like, I knew it was a character, but you can tell in those moments that they're just being stupid. And I don't know, man, it's like people are just really, really dumb. And this is kind of my point. I'm gonna mute it. Hold it, please. This is my point when it comes to the phantoms people come up with, right? Of you, of me. And you're probably guilty of this too, but it's okay if you're guilty of this. Like, there's no need to freak out. It's just like, just be aware that you do it. Like, you create these phantoms as well. So you just gotta keep it in mind when you're dealing with people. Like, that's not it. Like Ocelot said in the video, it's like people created a character in their brain about who he was, and he just went with it because it was just easier. It was like the path of least resistance, right? Instead of trying hard to convince everybody that he wasn't this thing, or this creature rather, he just let them go. And like he was just better off keeping that identity. Dang, it's a big one. Look at this big boy. Let's see that. It's a big shake. My wife and daughter are at the beach with my mother-in-law, with her mother.
Best watch out what you're doing.
Oh, that's his boyfriend. That's Orlin.
Do you not see? Can you not see anymore?
Jeepers. Ouch. Ouch. Discriminative. Stand there.
What are those?
Oh, look. They have a salad for you. Maybe it's the universe telling you to lose weight. You should eat the whole tree.
Man, they...
Clearly.
Cheese. Cheese. Ramen. Cheese.
Oh, Lord. Oh, does he go to Walmart in this one? Let's watch one more.
These prices are too expensive. How's anyone supposed to afford this food? This is a box.
He's so retarded, y'all. But I have it on, no I don't.
Busty old cart. Does it go faster? Where's the chase? Brace! 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 Everybody brace!
All these comments. Anyway, guys. Oh man, this dude's funny. I don't know what's in store for this man or what he's got planned next, but he is an entertaining person. Don't bother watching this guy. Like, it's nothing that serious. It's literally mindless slop.
Alright, language explorers, so let's have a look at today's Friday idiom. So,
Shout out to Matt.
like shooting fish in a barrel. In a barrel. Try and get, oh, here we are, barrel. Here we are, look at that. Yeah, in a barrel. Yeah. Something very easy to do or achieve. Easy, like shooting fish in a barrel. No real challenge.
Hey guys, it's Matt. The first time I watched that, I laughed and laughed. I'll continue to show you bits and pieces of it. I need a new, program or name of a show or whatever you want to call
You covered it again? Yeah, you did.
It was like shooting fish in a barrel. Yeah. Doing that was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Doing that was like shooting fish in a barrel. You look at, oh, it's easy shooting fish in a barrel. See, this is a great example, too, as to how we...
Why do you think the exam will be like shooting fish in a barrel?
He keeps providing these examples. I just found it incredibly funny the first time I saw it. Do you think the exam will be like shooting fish in a barrel?
You know, what's funny about this, I was listening to this at work, so I didn't have the visual, right? And the typing, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I was like, what does this remind me of? In the way the man's talking, and it really reminds me of these acting shorts. I'll play a little bit of it.
John, I want a divorce.
Divorce.
It's not funny, John, and you know it's been coming for a long time.
Well, divorce.
Why do you always laugh when I'm upset?
Oh,
this is insane.
Divorce, you just look so cute.
I'm serious this time, John.
It gets philosophical at the end.
I'm absolutely
6 minutes of madness.
And you're treating this like some kind of game.
But that was that's kind of the vibe I got when the man was talking. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one.
Barrel.
He keeps providing.
Think.
The typing.
Will be
It's like a DSP stream. Darkside Phil does this shit when he's streaming.
Barrel.
When he's like emailing people, he'll type it out. Do you think it's like shooting fish in a barrel? And it's like kind of the same shit.
Oh, it's 60, 63.
Anyway, it's enough of that. Shout out to Matt. Always entertaining. But that's what that reminded me of. I just wanted to point out that's what that reminded me of. Don't know why. Alright, I guess we'll get a little more serious here. There's a segment I want to call, and I might actually separate this and make it separate in a separate video. How parents fail their children. There's a few things I want to go over. This and this article here. And they both involve dogs. And I hate to go over dog stuff like this because I don't want to be some weird dog channel, but this is how parents fail their children, and it's I think it's really important to talk about these things because when something happens to a child, 9 times out of 10 it's the parent's fault. So going over this article, boy had to have his ear chewed off after he was mauled by his teacher's Labrador on a school trip. So some stupid idiot brought their Labrador on a school trip, and Labradors are pretty big, all right? And there's a reason I'm talking about this. Marshall Gearing nearly lost his ear when his teacher's dog attacked. The 9-year-old was bitten during a school trip when he stroked it. His mother, Amy, 23 now, wants the Labrador to be put down. Good for her. So according to this, he stroked it, telling what the hell that means. Let's go and go over it. 9-year-old boy nearly lost his ear after he was mauled by his teacher's dog during a school trip. Primary school pupil Marshall Gearing was stroking the brown Labrador when it suddenly jumped up and sank its jaws to the side of his head. His right ear was torn so badly it was hanging by a thread of skin, and the schoolboy needed 2 operations to reattach it. Marshall's mother, Amy, 23, is now demanding the teacher's dog be put down as she claims it is the only way to keep children safe, although both the school and the police rule the attack to be out of character for the dog. And like I said, I've said before in a video, maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but when dogs attack, there's always going to be a first time. So just because it hasn't acted that way before doesn't mean it's going to act that way in the future. These people are stupid. Like, they're literally retarded. And it doesn't surprise me that the police wouldn't take their side, because police are usually filled with dog nutters as well. She said, Marshall will be scarred for life and now scared of dogs. He has nightmares and doesn't want to leave my side when we go out. Might have to cut that out. Marshall was stroking the dog, which is off the leash, which is off the lead. And they left up and bit him, which is off the lead. I think they mean off the leash. Is this? I don't know. I don't think it's this AI generated, but Marshall was stroking the dog, which was off the leash, when it suddenly left up and bit him. Marshall told me that he felt his ear getting ripped and thought the dog had torn it off completely. Let's see. The mother of 2 added, "Where's your husband, lady?" We won't talk about that though. Where's the father? Where's his dad? The mother of 2 added, "There was a lot of blood everywhere which covered the dog's muzzle and the children were screaming. The teachers called an ambulance and Marshall was rushed to the hospital. He had 1 operation to reattach half his ear, but it didn't work, so he needed another. He's been off school for 3 weeks and has missed loads of work. When the police came to see me in the hospital, they told me the teacher would not be arrested because it was apparently out of character for the dog to attack someone. Ain't that about a bitch? I mean, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, this dog attacked a child, and it could have been a lot worse, but since it was out of character, whatever that means, according to who exactly? The bitch that owned the dog to begin with? You know, the very person who has every incentive to keep their mutt alive said that it was out of character, and these stupid fucking cops just believed her. And if this was any other crime against any other person, against any other thing, if it was me, if it was you, our asses would be put in prison. What if it was out of character for me, for instance, to go up and attack somebody? Would I get a second chance? These people are sick, man. I hate to say it because I am an animal lover, but the dog now has a taste of blood and should be put down. And I would say she's correct about that. There's a reason I'm going to get into this, guys. Marshall, a pupil that blah blah blah, doesn't matter. 30 pupils were accompanied with 6 members of the staff, and one of the teachers brought a dog. He didn't bring a cat, they didn't bring a gerbil, they didn't bring a rabbit, they didn't bring a hamster, they brought a dog. I hate when they use the word pet. It's disgusting. She said the full attention of the staff should have been on the children rather than on the dog. What? The full attention of the staff should have been on the children rather than on a dog? Marshall was back at school, but now he has really affected his confidence. What does that mean? The full attention of the staff should have been on the children rather than on a dog. Yeah. I don't know why this person decided to take their stupid mutt anyway. Oh, look at the perfect pooch. That's the dog? That's a lab? Holy shit. That thing's a beast. Let's see, head teacher Jamie Narn said police had carried out an investigation and, after speaking to Amy, had decided to deal with it via community resolution. Wow, so in other words, they're not going to do jack shit about it. The incident had also been referred to the Health and Safety Department of, I'm not going to say that, and the local authority child protection officer. And of course, they're not going to do anything either because they're full of dog nutters as well. And in the letter to Ms. Geary, Mr. Narn said, after weighing up all of the evidence from the statements and interviews and knowing what I do, having met the dog on a number of previous occasions, I am of the opinion that it was an awful accident that couldn't have been foreseen. And like I said before, when a dog attacks, it's usually not foreseen. Appropriate actions was taken once the incident occurred following school procedures. And what was that? It's like, oh, you can't bring your dog anymore. And that's the end of it, right? That's all they did. That's all they did. However, we are reviewing our risk assessments involving animals when they come in contact with children in our school. And that shouldn't have happened to begin with. This lady should not have been allowed to take her dog at all. If I don't get to take my cat, or if I don't get to take my rabbit, why should you get to take your dog? It's really that simple. And we have also taken the decision not to allow this particular dog further access to the children of our school, or any dog, but you're not going to say that. The head teacher said that the dog was extremely placid, placid and very well trained and had been with many children on a number of occasions before. And well trained doesn't mean jack shit either. In case y'all don't know, well trained just means that they've been trained not to bite, but eventually they will bite. And it just happens, okay? Like, I don't understand this training business, because they're training dogs to go against their instincts to attack and to kill. All right? They're carnivores. Plain and simple. So, to get the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about here, that was just one thing that kind of gets me riled up, and it really shouldn't, but here we go. All these people, these demons in the comments, and it's always... Oh, here we go. This is super interesting. Okay. The like and dislike ratio for these comments is really interesting. I hadn't noticed it before. Let's read a few. And we are sure that Marshall is actually stroking the dog and not yanking its tail or something. And that's the common narrative you're gonna hear about, especially when it comes to children, because children can't defend themselves. Like, you'll never hear this yanking the tail business. You'll never hear somebody claim that when, let's say, a dog attacks a UPS worker, attacks a FedEx worker, or attacks a police officer. You're never going to hear him say, "Are you sure he was trying to stroke the dog and not trying to yank its tail?" You'll never hear that. It's always children, because children can't defend themselves. So it's low-hanging fruit for these people. So what did the boy do to the dog? Any dog will react the way if you hurt it, if it doesn't know if it's an accident. Okay. Here we go. Somebody with some over a decade ago. So this can't be AI generated because it's a very old article. The mutt should have been muzzled when visitors dropped in on me with their sheepdog uninvited and made them tied up outside, and I will not have these dirty, excitable creatures in the house, especially when I'm looking after the grandchildren. They have not been back since, no loss, and in case of not like my dog, not like me. And I want you to pay attention to the dislike ratio. And it's usually 50-20, not 50-20, 80-20. It's about 80-20 here as well for dislike. So it's always this weird thing where this is a good little litmus test, actually, of how many people are just pro dog and just deify dogs. And it's insane to me. Like, looking at this and studying this the way I have, it's just mind-blowing every time. So you can get ideas. So look, here's another one. I haven't read this yet, but this is about 80-20 as well on the negative side. For God's sake, bring in some laws and take action against vicious animals. See? Anti-dog, the most dislikes. Pro-dog, the most likes. Oh, I liked it. Whoops. I don't hope that didn't show won't let me undo it now. So, again, this one's about half and half, actually. Like how the head teacher says she will have met the dog many times before. Like how the head teacher says, well, he has met the dog many times before. I don't know what that means. Is there more comments? Alright, here's more likes. Akita crowd? So we're all the anti-Akita crowd that were calling for them to be banned. We're going to ban Labradors to them. Yeah, ban them all, actually. But you can tell, isn't it crazy though? Like, y'all need to really, really pay attention to this. Maybe you don't, right? I'll leave it up to me, okay? I'll be the one to look up this stuff. This is about 50-50. Yeah, this is about 50-50, more or less. Alright, want to bring a dog along? Want to bring a dog along on a school trip? Fine, not a problem. Do the risk assessment first, and you'll find that the necessarily control measure where children were concerned is to muzzle the dog. Yours, a sensible health and safety inspector. So I guess he's a health and safety inspector. So this guy's just saying you need to muzzle your dog and do the safety assessment first instead of after an accident happens. And to me, personally, just don't have a dog on a school trip, period. Don't have a dog in schools. Don't have them in children's hospitals. Don't have them in anything. Don't have them in prisons. Just stop the madness. Stop this nonsense. We got best rated and worst rated. Oh, there's replies. Oh, wow. See, the dog has a taste for blood. Sorry, is it a vampire dog? What a load of tosh. Load of tosh. It is maimed once. Wow. It is maimed once. Do you want it to wait until it kills? See with a dislike. Wow, that's a crazy dislike ratio. I was about to write the exact same thing. Hysterical. So there's two assholes agreeing with each other. One person who goes against another. Look how many dislikes he has. Well over 95% dislikes. Amy, you have a very healthy and handsome looking young lad, except this was an accident and teach your child not to stroke a strange dog. How about you don't bring the dog into the children's stroking range to begin with? Oh, don't kill your kid not to stroke a strange dog. You know, that's really good advice and all, but I want you to think about the people involved. This is my whole point. I want you to think about the people involved as to why this Labrador got into the range of children to begin with. These are grown-ass people that let it happen. It's not just the dog nutter thing that I'm really talking about here. It's the actions of people. Talk about an overreaction. This little boy got his ear ripped off, dude. It was clearly unintentional, judging by the small wound. A small wound? Excuse me? Look at this, I don't know, cognitive dissonance? A small wound, quote unquote. If the dog has really wanted to hurt him, it would have looked a lot worse than that. I bet you would have loved that. My dog accidentally nipped me when he was playing. Did he rip your ear off? The dog does not need to be put down, but I would suggest it was unwise to bring the dog into a school anyway with all those kids about. The dog may have felt threatened. Yeah, okay. Who gives a fuck what the dog thinks? Kiss my ass. So, that being said, let's look at this.
So, we are back again.
Oh wait, I didn't want to... I wanted to find the actual video. 11-year-old girl attacked by dog in Dormont. Here we go. Let's go over this.
At least give me some information to help us, so hopefully save her at least 3 rounds of rabies shots.
A distraught mother is hunting for information tonight. She says her daughter was attacked by a dog in Dormont. The child was treated at the hospital, and she has to get several rounds of rabies shots, totaling about 16 doses. They filed a police report and were told animal control has been notified, but now they're hoping their neighbors will help them find the dog's owner. It was around 10:30 a.m. on Labor Day. 11-year-old London Carroll was walking on Dwight Avenue in Dormont, heading to a friend's house.
I saw this dog, and I was like, we were on like the opposite sides of the sidewalk, and her leash was just very like long for the thing, and it like lunged at me.
The dog bit her and scratched her.
It was very painful. I tried to like go like as far back as I could, and it just like came at me. So I ran into the street, and I like kind of like tried to get away from the dog, and the lady walked away.
London told her mom the woman who was
the lady walked away.
Black dogs
of course she did.
And turned right onto Potomac Avenue.
I was very upset. It was very like disrespectful and like unsafe of her to do that. And I got really scared.
It's very bright for an 11-year-old.
I just walked the rest of the way to my friend's house.
Her friend's
bleeding on the street. She got bit and she walks home by herself, you know, bleeding on the street. I'll just put that into your mind.
Mom who came running.
And I was like, where's the person? And they were like, oh no, she left. And
Where's your husband, lady? Again, where's your husband? Where's the father?
just walked away, but just grabbed
It's you're noticing a pattern, guys.
And her arm, she actually has a bite on her arm as well. How did she not see that?
London was taken to Children's Hospital.
It really freaked me out.
The 6th grader had to get x-rays to make sure the puncture
wounds, man.
She got some stitches, along with 3 or 4 rabies.
The thing latched onto her.
Now I don't know if the dog is up to date on its shot.
Again, okay, I've talked about the shots thing before, and the rabies thing. Yeah, it matters, but you got to worry about other deeper issues, the bacteria in a dog's mouth, and all of that. If it gets into your bloodstream, it goes sepsis. You can have a stroke, have a heart attack. There's so many other ways to be taken out by a dog, like I've said in the past. It's not just the rabies thing. I think the rabies thing is put out there as like kind of like a scapegoat, right? Like a straw man you can bring up. Has it had his rabies shot? Like if it bit somebody, right? You can go, don't worry, it's had his rabies shot, and the stupid dog nutter can say some bullshit like that. As a way to like distract.
We don't have any information.
London has 3 more rounds of rabies shots to go, 12 in total, over the next 2 weeks, and lots of aftercare.
I'm hoping so I don't have to keep taking the rabies shots. Because it is a lot.
London is in good
She wants to cry. This is what got to me when I was watching this. Her reaction.
I don't want other kids to have to struggle the way I did.
Yep. So the reason I brought these two stories up and kind of the reaction around it. Here, I'll go full screen for a little bit. So these children, okay? And this is my main point. How parents fail their children. We can call this how adults fail their children, or how adults fail children. How teachers fail children. How grandparents fail children, how grown-ass people fail children, how they fail their children. So you have this little boy and this little girl, right? Going along, you know, scooting along through life. Just living their lives. And the piece of shit adults in their lives don't have any fucking sense. And that's what chaps my ass about it. This dog thing. This dog thing wouldn't really get my attention if it wasn't for the attack on children. And I understand that I probably shouldn't let it upset me or let it get to me. But, you know, all of us were children once, and we know what it's like to see the adults around us act kind of crazy, and our parents around us do things they're not really supposed to, and they still don't, right? As adults, we're adults and they're adults, and they're still acting like crazy asses. So you have these children trying to live their lives, right? Living their lives the best they can with the tools that they're given in this reality, and the guardians, so to speak, the parents and the community of assholes, to put it simply. And I want you to put it this. I want you to think about it this way. This is a good way to put it. I think is you have your normie family, right? And your struggles. All of y'all struggle with your normie family when it comes to talking about these things. And I want you to picture being a child and navigating through this reality with dealing with these kind of sick individuals. It's like what else is there to say? Like, it's so twisted, right? And this is the thing, like, these kids are gonna grow up and lose faith. They're gonna lose faith in God, they're gonna lose faith in their parents and people and adults, and they turn into cynical adults thanks to the actions of the adults, of their parents and their grandparents, uncles and aunts and cousins and whatnot. And that's the most pitiful thing of all. And that's what begins the separation, because I know what that feels like. I know what it's like to lose faith in God because of the crazy adults in my life. And they're gonna go through their whole lives with nobody explaining these things to them, right? The way I'm explaining it to y'all, the way I talk to my daughter, the way I try to explain things to her. So I'm doing my best, you know, to try to break the curse a little bit. And I'll refer to it as a curse with her. Like I talk about, you know, the mythology of Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and explain how that anger got passed down from Cain, and you know, it's like a generational curse. And some asshole, I'm not gonna mention his name because he's a kind of a narcissist jackass. It's been like over a year since I interacted with him, but he had the audacity to make it seem like I was making up, what did he call it? When I said generational curse, I've used that term before. He had the audacity to accuse me of word salad. It's like, it's not word salad if I literally give you a definition of what I mean by generational curse. It would be word salad if I was just speaking nonsense and didn't bother to define anything. Like I said, I'm not going to give this guy's name. I used to consider him a friend of mine, and I don't know if he just went off the deep end or what his deal is. But his accusations were crazy. I think he gets this from his mother. I already know this. he likes to pretend that he doesn't have enmity with his mom when he's let it slip in the comments, in my comments section, that his mother is too nice, and that's where he gets that from, because since his mother's too nice, he's taken the opposite route of, because I can already tell that she's overbearing, because most mothers are, and he is just copying what she does, which is like, you better stop thinking this way or else kind of deal. And he didn't have leverage over me. I said, okay, fine, no hard feelings. I'm only talking about him because I think it's a real good example of the kind of like the download of kind of like the denial, right? When I say generational curse, a lot of y'all, well, not a lot of y'all, but some of y'all might go like, oh, I'm not generationally cursed. Like, what are you talking about? Word salad, dude. Just making shit up. It's like, no, I'm not making stuff up at all. And if you don't see it, if you've been subscribed for me for this long, or if you've been subscribed for me for a while, and you don't see it, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. Like, happy trails, dude. All right, what else can I talk about? All right, guys, we're gonna cover this really quick. Too long didn't read. This guy got wrapped up in some idiot single mom, on a dating app. Supposedly this lady left her phone number on one of her pictures on the dating app on accident, quote unquote. And he was trying to be this cool, nice dude, guy. This guy right here, not this guy. Trying to be like the Mormon nice guy. He's Mormon because he mentioned it like 20 times. It's like a Mormon dating app, and to me that's, I don't know why these religious nuts think that their specific dating apps is somehow going to be better than any other dumb dating app, but that's what they think. But let them live in hell, I guess. So he gets in contact with her. She immediately starts spitting out red flags, and there's a very specific part I want to talk about regarding his body languages and his demeanor and the, I wouldn't say accusations, but this guy's observations. We're going to talk about it real quick.
Only. I walk in, I'm like, hey, I must be confused because I don't see any spots open on the street to park.
Oh yeah, he after talking with her real quick, she immediately starts texting about her financial woes. So saying that she needs $2,000 to pay rent or she's gonna get evicted. And to me, that's the biggest red flag you'll ever see, is when some woman you just met starts talking about her financial problems. It's like so like a dunce. He didn't give her any money or offer her money, but he did offer to get a teeth cleaning service, which is something she offers for like $200 a pop. Okay, just to back that up. Hey Muffin, what you doing?
Parking. And she's like, I told you could park over at the Megaplex with like all this.
He's having trouble finding parking.
Okay, I'm gonna pass.
To get you up to date.
And so I turn around and I start walking out the door, and this must not have been her first rodeo because immediately she starts filming. I'm not kidding. She chases me out the door. She runs over to my car, she's like taking pictures of my plates. I'm like in shock because I'm like, what is going on right now? So I'm like, okay, yeah, you can call the cops. Here's my ID, like, because she's like taking pictures of my license plate. I'm like, here, I'll make it easier for you. Here's.
Now, by the way, at the end of this, I actually got the video that she took of him. I got the video she took of him, and what he's saying is correct. But what I can't get over, and at least according to chat from what I'm seeing, is there anybody here that thinks he's actually straight? Or is he just not realizing because
this is what I want to talk about.
And I see his mannerisms of putting his hands like, oh my God, seriously, and putting his hands to his chest like this, and a little bit of the lispy, and I don't know about you, but this is not what I would expect a military member / dude to be like.
Shit don't matter.
Like just this, I don't know, man. He just.
My ID.
All right, so let's talk about that. That's what I wanted to talk about. So, I don't get gay vibes from this guy. I didn't think he was gay at all as he was talking. The mannerisms, the feminine kind of lispy behavior, and the weird, doing this shit and all of that. That's from. His chat apparently was saying that's just something Mormons do, and that's something I never heard of. But I know how that comes about. And that comes about from childhood, obviously, but that usually comes about from being raised by too many females, too many women. And to put it this way, like, children have this tendency to kind of go along with what the adults want, right? And let's say, for instance, you're a young boy. Pretend you're a young boy, and you do this thing where you kind of talk effeminate just to get attention, right? And you keep getting attention from it. And the adults around you, especially the females, especially your mother, starts like praising you, right? It's like, oh, his lisp is so cute, or whatever, stuff like that. Just giving an example, because and this is where this stems from, because this guy right here, he may be this religious Mormon person, but behind the scenes, in the background, he's a predator, and he uses this femininity shit in order to get women to drop their guard. And he may not be aware of it, or he may be totally aware of it, but I'm telling you right now, a lot of these dudes will act this way in order to get into women's spaces easier. Because I guarantee you, this dude growing up in high school and all of that would probably get attention from being this, like, women are retarded in that way. They'll drop their guard around a man like this because, I don't know, because they think he's gay, I guess, and turns out he's not gay. It's just super strange behavior. I want you to be aware of this. My daughter has a cousin who has a really bad lisp, and the family kind of gives the mother shit for not taking him to a speech therapist. And I've explained these things to them as well. Like, for instance, I've explained these things to my wife, where it's like, the reason he does this isn't necessarily because of the speech impediment. It probably turned into a speech impediment, but he was never corrected by anybody for talking like a retard, essentially. He started talking like this because it got him attention at a very, very young age. Like, I want you to picture it like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old being raised by a single mom. And the only attention you really get is when you put on this cutesy, lispy voice, right? And it's fucked up, right? Because the mothers always perpetuate this, and the fathers either aren't around, or they don't do anything about it. They just kind of go with it, right? Instead of going, hey boy, you need to stop talking like that. You sound like a fucking idiot. Like, stop it. This is how you say words. Like, quit using this weird lisp because you sound like an idiot. Stop it. Just stop. So there's nobody around in his life to tell him to just fucking quit it. Like, you sound like a moron. And you start doing that at age 3, age 4, age 5, age 6. By the time you're age 12, by the time you're an adult, you still got this lisp. And I'm not an expert, not like a linguistic expert. It could be the case where he really does truly have a lisp that could have been corrected early. But I'm telling you, man, a lot of these issues are caused by childhood trauma. And a lot of y'all might not think that that's traumatic, but if it's affecting his whole life, it's trauma, okay? And we're all ruled by that childhood trauma. I want to go over this more a little bit. Let's watch. I hadn't seen the whole thing. This Better Bachelor guy. I watch this guy not because I want to be a better bachelor, because I watch him because he covers interesting topics. I don't necessarily agree with the shit he says, but I don't mind hearing alternative points of view to kind of challenge myself, right? Saying like, do I know what the fuck I'm talking about? Most of the time. Probably not. So let's go over this a little bit. This is from the lady's point of view. He's actually in uniform. Wow. LDS? What's LDS? LDS Christian man booked on the Sunday. What's LDS mean? LDS? Oh, Latter-day Saints. Wow. Okay. So he's a Mormon. Gotcha.
This LDS Christian man booked with me on a Sunday for an appointment just to waste my time.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't happen to mention that he was only a minute late. And this dude did all this just to try to get a date with a chick.
I believe it.
Because he thought it'd be a good way to get in.
See, he's not gay.
And now
I don't think he's gay.
ID says go ahead and call the cops. And
he shouldn't
calling her batshit crazy, getting in his car and driving away.
Okay, I understand now. I was wondering why he showed his IDs, because he's in uniform. And when dudes in uniform interact, or women too, interact with people like the civilians, quote unquote, they're required to like identify themselves. From what I understand, I don't really know the rules. I know that when they're interacting with civilians in uniform, they actually have rules they have to follow. Okay, that's what this is about, and why he's being so cooperative. That makes sense now.
Yeah, and you agreed to the $199 Thief Lightning. You took an hour to show up to your appointment, and I'm telling you it's $100 for a cancellation. You come in, and then you say you're canceling, so I'm saying it's $100 for the cancellation fee for wasting my time.
Sounds good.
CRC. And this is also going on Instagram, where I have 100,000 followers as well. And in the Mormon dating groups of people to avoid as well. Yeah.
People to avoid? What does that mean? Like customers to avoid? That doesn't make sense.
You really wasted my
What a dumb bitch.
Oh.
And a dumb asshole too.
A great day until you showed up and decided to waste my time. I don't mind.
There's your reward, buddy.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
For going through all of that.
And he's one of these... This guy, he's one of them red pill dudes that I don't really like, but he seems cool. I mean, I'd have a beer with him, I guess, even though I don't drink.
Had he just been a jerk and been like, hey, your phone number was in with your dating profile. Like, when you say we hook up, what do you got on Sunday?
I agree.
Literal bejesus out of her. She's getting absolutely blasted, but...
That's actually surprising.
Not just on Twitter. What's interesting is she's getting roasted on her own TikTok. This is her TikTok where she posted this, threatening him. And she said, these are the comments from both women and men. I saw his point of view before yours. Liz say, let's go, Chief, get my frostbite foods now. 4,000 likes.
That's actually pretty,
He's so calm, 1,300 likes. Lady, I genuinely hope...
That's pretty shocking that so many people took her side. I don't know what the psychology of that behind that is. It's very strange, actually.
Wiping him out. And you want to know who she is? But I guess she does these weird...
She's not even good looking.
And she's like a concierge at a concert or whatever, or I mean a club. And the skin is...
Oh, she does the fake freckles things. That's disgusting.
In a bikini and like every other girl, she's
not a bikini. It's a swimsuit.
She's God's gift to everything. I mean, she's okay, but you know, it's not...
What an idiot. Why would you...
But you're gonna tell me that...
See what I mean, guys? This dude, this military man, he's really just a predator looking for some easy, some easy coochie. And he saw this. He's not all innocent, and I'm probably the only person that's ever gonna frame it this way, but he's not an innocent little cinnamon roll either. They deserve each other. If they were to hook up, and let's say 6 months later he finds out that she's a fucking crazy ass, he deserves every fucking moment that he got if he would have actually hooked up with this woman. I'm telling you right now, I'm not on his side, and I'm not on her side either. I'm not on his side either. He can go fuck himself too. I'm kidding. So this man is a predator. He went on this lady's and under the guise, this is the worst part about it, y'all. Under the guise of being nice. Hey, Muffin. Under the guise of being this Mormon Christian, what was it, Latter-day Saints nice guy, and it's the worst of the worst to me. Like, you want to talk about predatory behavior, like that's about as predatory as it gets. That's a real fucking shame. It's a real shame that so many grown-ass men act like this and don't see, like, I don't know if I don't do this, so I don't know the mentality of these men who prey on women like this. And this woman was a predator too, right? So it's two predators preying on each other. Like like I said, they deserve each other. And I don't know the mentality. Like, are there any former predators out there that are willing to come forward and speak up on this and be like, hey, I used to be this way. I feel like I felt like a piece of shit doing it, and I'm out here warning y'all that a lot of men are like this. It's like, is there anybody out there that's willing to do that? I don't think I've ever heard a single man do this. May have heard some women do that. If I ever see one, I'll be the first to let y'all know. Something to look out for, I guess. But man, this dude, this little military man right here, He's not an innocent little sugar cookie himself. And this is what gets to me about these situations, is that people are they're so quick to pick a side, right? So divisive, ready to get their pitchforks out. And oh God, look at that. Ugh. How old is this lady? Like 40? She's got a good body though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not stupid. I wouldn't touch this lady with a 10-foot pole. She's nice to look at. Like I'm not a complete weirdo. Oh, there's the freckle thing, the fake freckle thing. Or is it? There it is. That's disgusting. I don't know why you would ever do that to yourself. Well, like legit redheads that have natural freckles look really good. This is disgusting. It looks like you have shit on your face, lady. Like, don't do that. What's wrong with her abdominals there? I'm trying to scroll. I'm stupid. It's a YouTube video. Calm down. Anyway, just wanted to go over that. I don't know what else I can go over. So I guess we'll end on this quick story that I found about a monk. Probably a fake story, right? But I'm gonna use this to illustrate a point about a monk who, like in a village, and he would basically do this thing where the villagers would come up to him and try to solve all their problems, right? So I'm just gonna fast forward to the part I want to talk about real quick.
Weakened the villagers. His by constantly stepping in, he had unintentionally weakened the villagers. His continuous assistance had disrupted the natural balance of the community. Determined to restore balance, the monk made a decision. The next morning, when the villagers arrived at the monastery with their usual troubles, the monk greeted them with a calm smile. Instead of immediately providing solutions, he asked them a thought-provoking question. If this problem had a purpose to fulfill for you, what would that be? The villagers looked at him in confusion and frustration. They were used to the monk solving their issues directly, not asking them to reflect on their troubles. But as they began to reflect on the purpose behind each problem, they slowly realized that every challenge...
Now, before this finishes, I want y'all to question if this sounds familiar to you or not.
...had something to teach them, an opportunity for growth or self-discovery. Over time, they started to understand that the wisdom they sought was already within them. Slowly but surely, the villagers began to rely on their
Now that is true.
own inner resources. They faced their challenges with newfound confidence and creativity, solving their problems as they had before, and the community thrived once more. But have you ever wondered if you're helping others just to seek approval or validation?
Yeah, that's a good question. But my point I'm about to make is that that's not really, let's say, the general reaction when it comes to people when they become reliant on you and suddenly you stop being a source of energy. Because the moment you stop being a source of energy, they're either going to shun you, or they're going to turn on you, or they're going to build an army against you. And in the case of Jesus, just talk about Jesus real quick, they did all three, okay? So I understand the moral of the story, but this reaction from the villagers, this ending is just not substantiated into reality with the way the group reacts. And it only takes one or two angry people to affect the whole village. And I made a comment here, right here. Oh, it happened to be the timestamp. Wow. All right, it doesn't happen. They hated him and will continue to hate him. Human beings do not act like this and self-reflect, especially not in groups like that. Herd mentality kicks in, and it only takes a few angry villagers to affect the whole village. People are not this rational. While I get the lesson in this story, taking from my own experience, human beings are the same the world over and throughout time. Doesn't matter what language, what country, and what part of history we're talking about, people will scapegoat the nearest person they can and build an army against him. Some replies here. Isn't that basically what happened to Christ? That's so funny. That they mentioned Christ, because I wasn't going to mention Jesus. But you can give the tools to somebody to solve their own problems, but if they've already established in their mind, if they've already projected the phantom of helper onto you, and you suddenly cut them off, there's a potential for disaster. That's why I don't think this ending was too accurate, although I do get the overall message, but Um, you're going to experience this when, I'm pretty sure many of y'all have experienced this with your family, you know? When you try to give them the tools to help themselves and how to navigate this reality, how to navigate the not milk kind of dark reality. And they don't want to see it, right? They cover their ears. They're like, you know, hear no evil, see no evil type of situation. And they don't want the tools. They don't want you to help them. Let's go full screen. Like, they don't want you to kind of destroy their, I don't know how to say it, their the phantoms of what this reality is, because they have an image of what reality is already in their minds. And if you challenge that, you know, they're going to turn on you when it comes to anything. So it's just a shame, y'all. But I think that's it. I think that covers it for what I wanted to talk about. I have a few more things on my list. Oh man. Better Bachelor talked about something else that I kind of want to cover too. I guess we can go over that real quick. Oh man, ain't no telling where that is. Let's see. All right, one more thing. This should be the last thing. I just wanted to make a comment on something he said. The thing he's going over isn't that important.
I've met tons of singles through my dating events, both men and women who have crazy expectations for their partner, and I feel sad for a lot of them who are clearly feeling lonely and going to remain single forever. Here's the thing. What are the men's standards? Usually it's be pretty, be nice, don't be fat. Like, men's standards are so much easier than women's.
That's the part I wanted to bring up and talk about. So he said, what are the men's standards? The average typical man. Be pretty, be nice, don't be fat. No, I don't believe that at all. Not maybe, I mean, that sounds like old world thinking. When I say old world, I mean maybe like 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. That might have been the case. Here, I'll make it full screen. That might have been the case in the past, but I don't think it's like that anymore. Be pretty. I mean, I've seen a lot of good-looking dudes with what I would call Shreks, like literal ogres for women. And it's not about looks, right? But I'm just giving that as an example. For the most part, a lot of dudes don't have these standards where it's like, be pretty, be nice. That's not a standard either. Most women are terrible. Most, not all, right? And the other one, don't be fat. Again, I don't see that either. I see a lot of what I would consider very obese ladies with pretty decent looking dudes. Like, they're dating up in that regard. So what this guy says, Better Bachelor, I don't know where he's getting that from. Maybe he's just caught off guard, right? Caught up, kind of just speaking on the fly, and I get that. But like I said, y'all need to observe for yourselves. And I think that's all I got to say, y'all. It's kind of a long video. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's another hodgepodge kind of variety show, I guess. I kind of like doing these. I got a few other recordings that are more focused that I need to go ahead and get to editing and get out there. But I'll probably push this one out today. I'll go and edit this one. Probably take me like 4 or 5 hours. Well, maybe not that long, maybe like 3 hours. It's an hour and 20-minute long video. After editing, it'll probably get down to hour 10 or so. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.